Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson, one of 4 sanctuary city mayors, testifying in Washington next week to defend their city's sanctuary policies. House Oversight Chair James Comer will lead the hearing and called the mayors out on X, writing, quote, "The pro-illegal alien mayors of Boston, Chicago, Denver, and New York City have implemented reckless, illegal policies that shield criminal aliens from immigration enforcement and endanger public safety." Chicago resident Kata Truss is the director of the Community Roundtable, and she joins me now. Kata, right now, your mayor is below 7% approval rating.
Terrible.
That
Absolutely
is
terrible.
one of the lowest, if not the lowest, mayoral approval ratings in history. Who is he fighting for?
Mayor Mohawk.
The great people of Chicago have said time and time again that they do not want these sanctuary policies.
Well, he is fighting for the migrants. You know, those are the people that you see him standing up for. And that's right now who we feel like he's fighting for. Now, you know, right now, Mayor Johnson is on this tour across the city of Chicago, primarily in Black communities to try to win back the voters that he has lost. I don't think he's going to be able to do that, because as of yesterday, Mayor Johnson and City Council, we certainly don't want to put this on him, you know, voted for another over $800 million bond that's going to cost the city over time $2.2 billion, which basically has contributed to sending our credit rating below national standards, which, you know, is something that we don't want to see happen. And his excuse for that is, well, other mayors before me have done it. And
Well, that's what happens when you put a teacher, someone who doesn't know how to run a business, someone who doesn't know how to run the government, someone who doesn't know how to run your city. That's what happens when you put someone that is, I don't want to call him incompetent, but he's literally incompetent. He does not know. He's been placed in there to do a job, but he actually doesn't know. He's probably learning along the way, but he does not know what he is doing, clearly. And I really would like to know what, besides Chicago Red, I'd really like to know what the citizens of Chicago feel about their mayor that they voted in there. The teacher, the former public school teacher, I believe he was a public school teacher, now mayor, is running y'all city into the ground. So I'd really like to know what y'all think.
The stupidity of it all, you know, when you're sitting back and you're looking and you're saying that, you know, we elected you because we thought you were going to be different. We elected you because we thought you were going to be fiscally responsible. And this is not fiscally responsible. And even with the state of Illinois, the mismanagement continues. Right now, we see that the state has underestimated the amount of money that they've spent on migrant health care, which is also sending our state budget into a $2.2 billion deficit. So when you look at the money that is being spent, you know, we have to say that not only in Chicago, but in the state of Illinois, the people are not the priority.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned the state at large, because the Illinois State Board of Education also continuing to impose Trump, this time with regard to getting rid of DEI. The Illinois State Superintendent, Tony Sanders, saying the following: "We are going to hold to our values." And whether or not we can get that message across in that particular room, of course, referring to the White House, doesn't mean that I am going to stop. Again, I'm going to ask this question through the lens of the people. You are one of the residents of Illinois. Is that what the people want? A focus on DEI at the expense of potentially losing federal education funding?
Well, I do have a problem with the fact that we may lose federal funding for education. But I also think that the White House and the state of Illinois, not just the Illinois State Board of Education, have to come together, sit down and have some kind of dialogue that can meet both sides. As a Black woman, I can't say that I am against DEI, even though it has not worked for Black people the way that it should, as only a very small percentage of us actually benefit from DEI. but I don't want to see it totally go away. And I think that there has to be some middle ground that can be reached.
Interesting perspective.
Very interesting perspective. I was not expecting that from a Chicago red woman. I was not expecting that. But DEI, honestly, it should not be affecting you. If you are, like, seriously, if you are a competent person, if you are one of those people that are just obviously talented and skilled and competent, you are going to succeed regardless of what room you are in, what opportunities are in front of you. You are going to succeed. Now, if we're talking about if we're going to hire a McDonald's fry cook worker or a cashier, obviously you have more competition, and you might not get the job. Some people aren't competent enough to be cashiers, which is sad. But they're still being placed. I go to this one restaurant, right? I love the food, but they hired this new person lately that is so incompetent that they don't know how to make a simple sandwich. And I had to eat my sandwich. I took it without knowing that it was not, the sandwich that I really wanted or whatever the case may be. But this is what happens when you have incompetent people doing jobs that they're not supposed to be doing. Some people are just supposed to be cleaning toilets. All right? That's just the honest truth. That's the honest to God truth. Some people should just be wiping down toilets. Some people should be doing carpentry because that's what they're competent at. Some people should be teaching because that's what they're competent at. Some people should be directing movies because that's what they're competent at. Some people, they just not going to be able to work because they're not competent. And in this instance, you're kind of not competent. And I don't know, it's not hard to warm up food. It's really not. It's not hard to put together a sandwich. But if you can't do that, you can't blame DEI on that. That's just a lack of competency. Honestly, that's just a lack of competency. Or a lack of training. It could be a lack of training too. I'm not going to just say that they're incompetent. They probably just weren't trained correctly. Which could be the incompetence of the management team. Some people don't got it. All right? But this DEI stuff, this DEI policies that are being imposed onto companies, let the companies hire who they want to hire. At the end of the day, it's their company. They deserve to hire who they want to hire. And if you can do the job, you most likely will get the job. It's not about your skin color. It's not about your race. It's not about your gender. It's not about your age. Because, you can be discriminated in many ways. It's not just about race. You can be discriminated for being too old. You can be discriminated for being too big. You can be discriminated for being too weak. But if the job calls for lifting over 50 pounds and you can't lift 10 pounds, sorry, you can't get the job. It just does not fit you. It's not because you're black. It's just because you're weak. It's really because you're weak. Let the people hire who they want to hire. And stop making excuses. Stop making excuses. At this stage in my life, I feel like any opportunity that is put in front of me, I have one of the best chances of getting it. I don't care who's on the other side. I don't care whoever else is interviewing. I don't really care. Okay, I'm that confident and my abilities and my skill of what I do for work that I can stand in any room and be able to get it done, and have the confidence to stand in any room and talk with leaders of other departments, talk with leaders of talk with other management staff, in my particular case, I'm in clinical, so I talk with doctors. I'm able to have conversations with these high-ranking people, in quotation marks, that may not look like me. They may not talk like me, but they sure know that I know what the heck I'm talking about, and I know how to do the job. So DEI is it's fading away. It's not gonna go fast. It might not go away forever, but it's fading away. And my best advice to everybody that really wants DEI to still be a thing is to prove to them that you don't need it. Prove to them that you're competent. Prove to them that that you're skilled, and you have the skill that they're looking for. And besides you can't. Nobody else can do the job. That's how skilled you have to be at their position, and you won't even have to worry about nothing about DEI. That's just the honest truth. I'd rather be hired, in my personal opinion, I'd rather be hired off of my work ethic than just off of my skin color. That's just me. Don't just hire me because I'm black. Don't just hire me because I'm Asian. Hire me because I can actually do the job. I want to make your company succeed just like you want to make me succeed. That's the end of the day. That's it. That's the end of the conversation. Let me know y'all thoughts about this down in the comments below. I'd really like to know y'all thoughts. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate y'all viewership. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and stop making excuses to be great, man. I love you guys. I appreciate y'all. Until next time, man, it's your boy Dgotsauce. Peace.